Okay, good morning everyone. Jacques, we're doing a drive to the office and a quick chat maybe. Yeah, and that's what we're going to do. I want to talk about this engine maybe a little bit, what I like about it. A triple, first of all, is not the best engine for a motorcycle. V4 is. I think you just need to watch MotoGP to understand that. But this specific motorcycle, and hopefully I don't get into too much detail, produces nice power, it's got a nice sound, and made to deliver the torque. You hold once again, so I can effortlessly do what I need to do, not worry about the bike rolling off. Quick tap of the brake to disengage it and off we go, or you can just drive out of U-hold, but it requires a little bit more throttle input. Now the motorcycle is in rider mode, so that means sports throttle, but rain traction control and ABS traction control. ABS is on. So that's how I ride. I've also changed the setting for road conditions. So instead of a road map, it's got a sports map, but everything else remains the same. So for those of you interested in motorcycle riding, first of all is it is can be a dangerous pastime, and I'll tell you why. Motorcycle normal road users, car users, is so programmed only to see cars that they don't see motorcycles. Moreover, people are busy on their phones, texting, doing all kinds of silly stuff. So you would see a lot of guys with motorcycles weaving like this. I do this, especially if I approach an intersection, just to make people aware behind me of movement. If you're static, they just might miss you and hit you from behind. The other thing with this motorcycle, the handlebars, it's actually got quite a bit of a wingspan, if I can put it that way. So one inch this side of the mirror, 1 inch that side of the mirror is 1.2 meters, just shy of 4 feet. So consider that if you're filtering. Once again, car behind me, I'm making a little bit of movement. I'm not stopping center in the lane, because typically at these intersections vehicles have got a tendency to drop oil, water, lubricant and so forth. So this engine is a triple, just quickly to triples, or maybe engines in general. Easiest simple engine you get is a thumper, single cylinder motorcycle. I'm just parking here slightly off center so that if somebody sees me, they hit the other two cars, but I'm just going to filter. Yep. So the simplest engine you get is a single. It's the cheapest to make, less complicated, but it vibrates like hell. And the reason for that is balance. It also only has a single power stroke, and that cycle is quite long, and that's why it's a perfect application for off-road, because there's only one pulse essentially in a cycle, and that will help a lot with traction. Then you get the V-twins, and also not great because of cooling and so forth. You get triples. They can rev quite nicely, but they have got vibration characteristics, and so it all depends on how you ride it. Police ahead. I've never really had issues, I've never had problems with this motorcycle with police. If you stick within the boundaries, it hasn't got a large exhaust, it doesn't look dangerous or aggressive. So that's it, we'll see how it pans out. So triples made to rev quite quickly and make torque, hence this engine. And then you get 4 cylinders, screamers, they rev high, also not the greatest engine. And then you get 6 cylinders. Yes, on motorcycles they used to have them, sounds like a Formula 1 car. Great motorcycle engine, no vibrations and so forth, but large. And then you get the V4s. I did not see it. Then you get V4s, which is currently being used in the MotoGP by 90% of the field. And those engines, well balanced, very little vibration, you can rev them high, makes huge power, so that's it. But this engine, what I like about it is the characteristics, and you'll get some opportunity to just close off the throttle and hear the little burps. So conventional inline threes, historically Triumph had the firing cycles or the crank pin positions at 120 degrees in a circle, and that would give you 240, 240, 240 firing intervals on the crank pin positions in degrees. This triple they've done differently, and all the modern triples they're doing this way, including the motorcycle they're using in the Moto2 class. And that is an uneven firing order, so the crank pin positions on the 3 cylinders is at 90 degrees. So if you look at the crank from the side, imagine a T, so down the center and quarter, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. That's where the crank pin positions are. And so what they do is they've got an uneven firing order, not 240, 240, 240. They do 180, 270, 270. And it does a couple of things. First of all is the impulses on the power strokes between the power strokes. So it gives a tire time to rest, and moreover the gaps between the power strokes with that firing order and configuration is 90 degrees versus 60 degrees of the traditional 270, 270, 270 firing order. So that's what I like about this engine. These motorcycle configuration engines is made to spin up quite quickly from 4,000 RPMs upwards. This is a very large motorcycle, so with a large pistons. Let me put that in perspective. It's got 3 pistons. Imagine your shoe bowls at home. If you've got shoe bowls with a 110 millimeter diameter, nice big shoe bowls, imagine 3 of them. So it's a lot of mass, and this one doesn't obviously rev that high, but it's made to deliver that torque. Now let's listen to that configuration. It's also got that uneven purple, so yeah. Slow into intersection, check for cars, and then drive into it. Check your lanes, and I'll follow this guy. Yeah, so uneven firing order produces a mountain of torque. So this machine's torque curve looks like Table Mountain. Really, it's just flat Newton meters, feet of pound, brute force torque. That's what it is. With a very smooth fueling and fuel delivery, so it's a very nice smooth ride. Okay, rider safety. As I said, essentially a motorcycle is invisible. Car coming from the right, make sure he hasn't got stupid ideas. Obviously there's a lot of traffic and he's pulling a box, so be patient, wait for your time, keep distance, check your six, position yourself properly on the road, be prepared to take action. No, that's not a great idea, Sam. That's not a great idea. Yeah, exactly. I shall do the left lane. Also, scan far ahead. I'm scanning 100 meters ahead, and it all depends on how quickly you're traveling, but you need to have that mindset of planning 100 meters ahead, both in front of you and behind you, because just because I can quickly stop doesn't mean the guy behind me is going to see me or capable of doing the same. So lots of traffic, no need to be in a rush, be careful. You'll quickly see which cars sees motorcycles quite quickly, because they give you space, which is really cool, really cool. Other people don't see you, so just take your time, be patient, don't do anything silly. On this motorcycle, remember the wingspan. Having said that, looking at this guy in front of me, very similar wingspan, so this is not too bad really. In situations like this, going right, be aware of side streets, people that might be coming out of that. currently in second gear, and this bike's just essentially idling. So let's see where this goes. So that's what I like about this motorcycle and motorcycles in general, is overtaking capabilities. You can do it safe and quick. You stick to the basics. Vehicle from the right. Especially traffic, a guy maybe sees a spot and he quickly wants to shoot through and he didn't check his left side properly. He's coming down the road. Yeah, that always doesn't end well. Waving me through silly vehicles. Just cruise, guys. You don't need to do this at 100 kilometers an hour and get to the office as quick as possible. Be considerate. Be safe. You're still getting there a lot quicker than everybody else. Stuff on the riding which I see a lot of people don't do, and it's not the greatest of habits, not habits, things you can do to improve your riding. So one of them is, you hold again, this is on, the throttle, how you grip the bike. You grip a bike with 3 fingers, ring, pinky and thumb, like this, and you've got these fingers on the clutch or the brake on both hands. So if you grip a fistful like you would hold a hammer or something, that natural tendency is to hold on firm, and so when in an emergency situation you go for the controls, it's going to be a forceful action, and on a motorcycle everything needs to be smooth, so that you can load up the tire, the suspension and the brakes before you really push it through the limits in an emergency situation. How does this sound, huh? Hopefully that soft little burble is available, is audible. Otherwise we will try and do it differently. In the distance there, those skyscrapers, that's Sandton City. We're going to pass Kailami Grand Prix circuit on the right hand side at the next intersection. So that's quite nice. If we go straight back to my house, 3-4 kilometers on the left hand side is Swartkop's Raceway. I used to come to these tracks quite often, well, monthly, when I still had, look at that, beautiful man, when I still had the road bikes, sport bikes, and they were set up for track riding only. I would every now and again put the road kit back on and take the missus for a ride. But back to the throttle. So also this helps you to hold the throttle like you would hold a screwdriver. This is how you turn the throttle, not like this, because it does all kinds of things, input on the steering, your elbows moving, your wrist is moving, especially on narrower grips. So you want to use that screwdriver mechanism to turn it. So you'll see there's no impact on my wrist position, and my elbow is not changing. So back to 3 fingers, you want to have this ability and feel to rock the motorcycle around, and so motorcycle riding is a little bit counterintuitive to what you would think. and it also behaves differently at low speed versus high speed. So that boundary line is around about 20 kilometers an hour, and that is at 20 or below 20. You need to pull the bar to the right to go to the right. Yeah. But once you go over 20 kilometers an hour, for me, if I want to go left, and let me quickly show that, I'll engage the cruise control. So in cruise control mode, if I want to go left, I push this bar forward, left, and the bike goes left. Same on the other side. This is called counter steering, and people are not aware of it. If you do ride a mountain bike and stuff like that, it works exactly the same. So that's counter steering, and you need light hands. You don't want to grip it. As this bike hits bumps, moves, grooves, suspends, that's what it needs to do. Don't fight it. You will lose all dexterity, and moreover, if you grip it tightly, the bike's not going to do what it needs to do because you're fighting it. So remember that. Other things I see a lot happening is quick shifters, and I actually wanted to get one for this because it's a beautiful tool. Having said that, the more you can practice throttle control, the better driver you're going to be, the better you're going to understand dynamics and so forth. And what I mean by that is, with a quick shifter or auto blipper, it will match the gear road speed and RPM of the engine to match each other slightly, so that there's no jerky reactions. Having said that, I'm standing here on a seam, so this bike is going to want to go to the left. Just get out of traffic, and then I'll put the cruise control on. That's the other feature and function I use a lot on this motorcycle. Wheel hold is one, cruise control is the other. It helps you not to speed in areas where you need to, and just chill. What was I saying? About the controls being light, so you need to feel how the forks and the tire move and interact with the road. And if you've got a very tight grip, you're taking a lot of that feel and dexterity away, and that causes problems. So you want to sit on the bike, be light on the bars and your grip, and look ahead, use counter steering, and drive safe. There's so many aspects, and we'll cover them I think every now and again. When I go to the office, we'll talk about these topics. Currently cruising away merrily in 4th gear, just over 2000 RPMs. Right on the indicated speed limit, and this camera is in the way. Let's see. And I'm currently doing looks like 8 liters to the 100. I'm quite sure if I use there on 6th gear, and this is idling, and I can see that drop. Other features I really like, functions I like on this motorcycle, is the cornering, ABS, front and rear, the traction control. It all helps make this motorcycle a safer vehicle, if you do not compromise your position. It's useless. You've got these fantastic brakes and ABS, and you're doing too fast of a speed, and there isn't enough road to come to a stop. No technology is going to help you. It will help you scrub off speed, but at the end of the day, there's a deficit which you need to take accountability for. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. We're getting into a bit more difficult traffic, so I need to stop yapping and concentrate a bit. So see you guys at the office. Also, when you accelerate away from white lines or where these arrows are, where cars drop oil, don't hammer it, even if you've got traction control. It just might step at your rear slightly, you overcompensate, the car behind you has a scare, does something silly. And also you need to move through an intersection, but your initial move needs to be very moderate, because if you suddenly do it and something goes wrong, a guy just doesn't stop and continues, you need to be suddenly on the brakes or take evasive actions. And so yeah, that can cause big problems, so just don't do it.